Hello and welcome to another episode of the Thought Leadership Podcast and live show. And today we're going to go deep into the topic of creating trusted networks and being part of trusted networks as a leader, as a founder, as a thought leader. And with me today, I have Yulia Stark, who is the founder of the FAB Academy, Business Academy for Women, and also the president of the European Women Association. Welcome to the show, Julia.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Daria. Happy to be here. I was looking forward to this call.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. And I am very excited because I want to share a small story. And it's actually really funny. I was going through my Evernotes a couple of weeks ago. And sometimes we just clean up our mess in our desktop. And your name was there. 2018, I went to a seminar. And for some reason, I don't know why, your name was written there, Yulia Stark Fab Academy. And I said, oh my God, because we connected about a year ago. And then your name was just like, so I just felt that I had a calling to check out what you're doing, what you're working on right now. And when I discovered that you were working on the European Women Association, that you have created this amazing network for women in Europe, I just felt that this was the chat to have, especially because the listeners and the ones who are listening and watching, they're founders, they're leaders, all the people listening here, you are on that growth phase. So being part of a network that you can feel that you can get something from, anywhere you can give, feeling that you're part of something is so important. So can we talk a bit about why did you start it? Why did you start the European Women Association? Why was it so important for you to have it founded?
I think most of the most powerful stuff happened during the crisis. And I think the same happened with European Women Association. I was frustrated about 2 years ago that if I was looking for funding as a female founder, if I was looking for more information how to get European grants, I was stuck. There is so much information out there. I was losing time and money and spending time with people who do not really contribute. So me personally, I was frustrated. So we asked our community, how can we serve? What is that you are looking for in modern networking platforms? Because to be honest, there is so much out there, especially for female founders. You'll be surprised if you just even go to Facebook. I mean, it's exploding with groups. And does it really give you professional value? Social aspect of it, I get it. Most of the time it works. But I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter. I don't have time to socialize all day long. I just need results. And I couldn't find that platform where I could get guidance, where I could get literally the right contact details of the decision maker who will open a certain door or make a decision or sign that contract. Yeah. So that's how it actually happened, from my own frustration, seeing, okay, there is too much out there, too much noise, not much result, and I want to change that.
Absolutely. And so you mentioned that there are many networks out there, like on Facebook, on our websites. There are so many options. What makes a good networking group and what makes a less good networking group, in your opinion? What are those characteristics?
Well, that it's a two ways, synergy. On one hand, you've got the entrepreneur himself or herself. Like in our case, for us, it's important, if you join a community, you need to be active as well. Like you need to contributing. So you're giving and getting at the same time. On the other side, from our part, we need to engage the community and filter it in a way through certain circles or topics so people can find each other easier. So I think a good network is, first of all, you need to unite on one hand people who have the same goals and values. I think that's important, the values part. On the other hand, you need to create an ecosystem. It's not really about you and me sitting and chatting about leadership because we understand each other. You don't have to sell the idea to me.
Yeah.
The challenge is when you have, for example, as an entrepreneur, you're scaling, you're growing, you need some guidance on mentorship from somebody who's been there already. Well, we need to invite people who are higher or in your personal growth or professional growth, or you need, for example, to speak to the investors because you're scaling and you need money fast. So what we've done, we actually created an ecosystem. And instead of us focusing on the end user, like the entrepreneur herself, We focus now on B2B. We are focusing on professional organizations that have members like ours, like yours, who need some more professional support, but they can do it by themselves. They need to open doors internationally. So we actually created a platform of different organizations, investors, banks, um, business clubs, chamber of commerce, who are all there to support a female founder. And that's how you create added value. It's not
Yes.
about us chatting and complaining or even celebrating. It's rather let us like, it's like a puzzle pieces that come together in different stages of your professional growth.
Amazing. So it's very goal oriented and value based. So there is a real intention from not just going in and having a network, but actually, like you mentioned, you have real strong values, and then you have real partners that are there that have a kind of aligned value with you, that are supporting the women in the organization. Is
Yeah,
that a good way to kind of sum up?
it's a good way to sum up. And the thing is, you really, as an entrepreneur, need to deepen these relationships. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not enough. I think we are growing around 250 business owners per month. So imagine how much wisdom is out there. But if
Yeah.
you don't deepen the connection and you just join the monthly matchmaking session, you meet maybe 15 amazing entrepreneurs and then you just leave and you don't have this one-on-one conversations. Well, honestly, it's worthless.
Yeah.
Even if it's packaged well and if you've introduced to the right people, at the end, it's you following it up. And
Yeah.
even at this stage, you're like, all right, there is not much you can do for me or I for you. Follow that up. You'll be surprised how much knowledge and wisdom is in there. And once a certain moment in your business, you'll need it. You'll need
Yeah.
that contact person.
Yes.
And it's just by sending, like this morning, I had a meeting with my team member. We are opening an office in Dubai. And she said, Yulia, I don't want to organize a dinner. So in June, we are planning this exclusive dinner for entrepreneurs. And she said, I don't want to do it in hotels like everybody else doing. And she said, like, I would love to have it in a beautiful villa or in a mansion or in a palace if possible.
Oh,
Um, wouldn't that be unique? I said, yeah, that would be. Like, I don't know anyone with a palace. And suddenly you realize, like, oh my gosh, I do know someone that I met 3 years ago. And like, I just sent her a WhatsApp message, like, Kathleen, we need to catch up. She said, okay, let's call this afternoon. So
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, how you have to know what the person is all about and the values and what they're interested in
Yes.
and what they do, because in a year or two you'll need them or they will need you.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that you talk about networking is not being, it's a long term. It's something that you build for years. It's not something that you come in and you get something from, you get to know each other, you get aligned with your values, you understand each other, you rediscover that someone has a castle, all these sort of things that and then years after, that's maybe when they're going to happen, and you never know really how things going to happen. And I can absolutely relate to that. I have one of my biggest contracts in my business from this 11 years of running a training academy came from an Instagram contact that I got in Australia, having a chat with, because I was doing a small workshop, like a small workshop in a small town in Australia when I was traveling. And many years after that led to my biggest contract. And I could not even imagine going for a coffee with this stranger who became one of my best friends could have, led to that, because it's all about the long term. It's about investing in people, right? It's about really caring and being curious about others. But I want to talk about one thing that I see often with the people who are listening to and watching these episodes are, many of them are quite advanced, mid, high level, senior level leaders, or they are quite advanced in their business. And what I hear often is that many networks are great for beginners. They're great for beginners because they come in and everything is quite new, and it's so great to be together and get that support. But when you are in a position when you already have a couple of years of experience, many networks feel like you're always becoming the one giving. You're always the one giving advice, and you come out of that maybe even feeling a bit depleted. So have that happened to you? Has it happened to some members? And how do you feel about that when coming into a network, when you feel like, okay, actually my next level of growth, there are not many people who really understand it?
Well, I think that happens to most of us. It happened to me, and often I'm invited. most of the time I'm invited as a speaker. So that means you're there to give, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I do not network, to be honest,
Yeah.
anymore in the classical way. My network happens through introductions from my, I would say I've got two networks. One of them is like the masses and people on social media, and there are around 25, 30,000 people. That's a
Yes.
network. But
Yeah.
it's a quite, I would say, like superficial, broad.
Yes.
And then I've got another layer, it's the deep network. And that's different. And how do you get there? So first of all, you need to understand, where is your target audience? Where are your decision makers? Because if you feel that you're giving and you're depleted, that means that you're not in the right space and you're
Yes.
wasting your time. I mean, it's good for your karma, but there is a limit in your time, and you just name it. So the quality of your life will probably will be lower. So first of all, you need to understand, what is the pain you're solving, and where is that decision maker that actually can sign for that problem solving.
Yeah.
Let's take an example, an HR manager in a
Yeah.
company. If he's the one who's deciding, well, you need to be in a space where these people are. You don't
Yes.
go to any coffee, drink, webinar, seminar. You are targeting and researching, where are my decision makers gather. And
Yeah.
often it can be golf club, it can be maybe some kind of Rotary club. I don't know where they are,
Yeah.
but at the end you have to go to them and give them value. You
Yeah.
have to, there you give consciously. This is where you say, listen, I checked that you are looking for, I recently had this conversation with Pascal. Pascal is one of the HR manager I know for like 50 years ago. And I saw that he before we met on Zoom, I checked the company he was working for, and I've seen they're looking for certain quite high level profiles, and I imagine it's difficult to fill them in. So I said, Pascal, you know what? Like, it's been an age. Like, tell me more what's happening. Just give me an update. How is your little boy? He was not little anymore. So we've been chatting. And then I said, listen, I think I can help you out with a few profiles from
Mm.
my network. Would you like? So I would literally give, not expecting. Well, I know I'm building a social capital in that way. I
Yes.
truly want to give. I think that's important. I do not expect anything in return immediately, but it makes sense that if he's helped, that at certain moment when I'll need help, well, I'll need a job one day, who knows, Pascal will help me out.
Yes.
So I think it's you investing in your relationship consciously,
Yeah.
knowing what's the pain you're solving, where are these people, and giving to these people or referring them. I think the most of the biggest mistake we are all making is we network to sell something. And
Yeah.
this is, everybody's doing that. Imagine if you will build your network, high level network, to refer. Even if you as a coach or as a mentor can solve a certain problem, imagine you referring that to another colleague. You've got two people who are grateful now.
Yes.
And that's how you build this social capital. And this is, I've learned that in the last year, that when we pivoted from offline to online, we freaked out. It was hard.
Mm.
But then I just had to make few calls. And that led to ministers, that led to princesses of Oman, and all these people just opened doors because they felt, we can trust you. It's not
Yes.
maybe the best service we offer, but the trust, you're building trust through referring. So start looking at your networking as a place where you refer to others and build social capital.
Absolutely. And I love that you talk about, you getting out there and seeing what you can do for others, but for the right people, like the right people, meaning that your time is limited. And if you are building a business, if you're building an organization, there is this goal that you have and you can be intentional about it. But in the end, you're still human. You still care about these people. You really care about them, you really want to help them, and that is going to pay off because you're starting to get into the networks where you're supposed to be and help the people that should know who you are and know about your work. So that is going to pay off by itself, basically, by just being there and being active, showing up in your expertise, showing up and helping others. I love that. And how do you, as an you build this organization, so you build, I guess, both those wider network and those deeper networks. How do you create that space? How do you create space for deep trust? How do you create space for real connection, where people can go through that experience and start to creating those type of long-lasting relationships?
It's hard. It's not something there is like a magic pill for that. It's a very time consuming. That means literally I would spend hours sometimes helping, supporting people in their growth. Um, and then you will get introduced. So most of the time, it's not about you knocking on people's doors, even though they are the right network for you. It's you researching who in your direct network can introduce you to this right person.
Yeah.
So that saves you a lot of time and you become already much more trustful. So I literally would look on LinkedIn and see, okay, who do I need to speak directly? Who's the decision maker here? And I'll ask my community through a few WhatsApps or private messages like, hi, I see we've got somebody in common. Can you please make an introduction? I would like to speak about this, this, and this. You don't have to say that, but sometimes you better do. So it gives a context. So it is very time consuming. I cannot do it for all of them of my community. So we've got around 700 business owners now. I'm trying to connect them to each other, but this is, as you could see, like we have a free platform, meaning you come in and you can start networking. It's already pre-filtered for you. So it's on your side to take that responsibility. If you want me to get involved and help you out in your professional growth, well, that's a paid service. So you go into the premium membership, which is quite low in price, but still you need some kind of financial engagement. So that helps actually when people pay, they actually value your connections more. And even then, yesterday we had a call with somebody from Kazakhstan. They would like to organize a networking event in Dubai in June. And we would say like, what would be price for it? And that's the thing. How do you value your network? Like how much are your contacts worth? I know it's billions because we're
Yes.
speaking about investors and startups. And I had to make a few calls to my network, like high positions, like, guys, how much do I ask for this dinner? Which
Yeah.
is actually, well, maybe it will cost me 10K, like literally, but then the rest and your credibility. So I had a price first in my mind, and then a friend of mine in Berlin, she said, put a zero near to it, and then that's the right price. So please understand, when you are networking, referring, you're giving your trust away and your
Yes.
reputation away. So make sure that's the right match, or you will burn your network quite fast.
Absolutely. And yes, that as a founder, as you know, the one leading this organization, that what you mentioned is it's a time we are investing time in our network. It's not only about trust, it's presence, it's about helping others. We are investing time, and you mentioned as well reputation, because you have values, you have an organization, and they are expecting something specific from you, in terms of the excellence that you're bringing, the standards that you're bringing. So of course, the type of collaboration, I love that you mentioned that the partnership that you go into are so important. So for instance, if I can relate that to our organization, well, our business, is that when someone comes to me and talks about affiliate or partnerships, I want to always check in with myself. Is this someone that we want to be aligned with? Do we have the same values? Do we stand for the same things? Is this going to empower my members? Is this something that is, coming from the right place? There's so many things that comes in. So for us, it's partnerships is a like relationship, like you're building networks. Partnership is very similar. You must make sure that is this aligned with the bigger picture, what you stand for. And it's absolutely amazing what you talk about. I love this conversation. So we talked about building an organization. We talked about, what brings value in an organization. When someone comes in, why do they feel I want to be part of that? We talked about having, deep networks and the larger networks, and understanding the difference between them. You might not be doing the same kind of things, and actually talk to these people in the same way. Now, I would love to talk about, you mentioned pivoting, you mentioned going online, and we are experiencing, and networking as has been something very much in person for a long time. How do we make the best out of the online networking? How do we make it deep? and trusting? And how do we keep that trust that we can create in the room, people sitting together, having a dinner or having those conversations? How do we transform that to the online space?
Well, I'm not sure you can do that. If you're really honest, I don't think you can, because we are missing so much. I mean, our senses, the body language cannot be read. There is so much we are missing. So you have to work a bit harder to build the same trust online as if you would do at one night drinking in a bar. So there is much more like time that you need to invest. What I often will do, I will break out my, like if I have every month, I've got around 200 new people in my life. So I really need to, I try to get to know them better. So I will organize breakout session and ask, okay, Daria, please tell me more. What you do? What is your why? What is also your challenge? I need to understand what is your challenge so I can help you faster. I just refer you to somebody else. And if that happens in the first month of our connection, that builds trust. It doesn't go like on a shelf. You become that active contact person in their life.
Yes.
So that's how I do it. And I advise everyone, like you've got your Facebook group here, for example, organize moments where you sit down and give each other a few minutes to speak about who they are, what they do, and what the challenges are openly. And maybe they can help each other, or you know somebody from another group and you make the connection very quick. And if you do it regularly, I'll do it weekly, but you can do it monthly. That again builds out of trust. So it's not the same. And what I plan then is, if I have a certain relationship and I've been in connection for a few months and we've done some cool stuff together, even if it's online, it's not that big, I will make sure we can meet. I would literally recently, a month ago, I traveled to Berlin by train, took my computer, it was like 8 hours or something from Belgium. But spending that weekend with that woman, I understood her family, her values better, her business model better, and we became partners. And she's the one who is opening the office in Dubai now. If I haven't gone to Berlin that day, it wouldn't have happened, because you cannot. She said, like, Yulia, if we can spend time like a night in pajamas, then we are really connected. So look for ways to really connect with people on deeper personal level, because at the end, it's not about business, it's about the human being. And your business will thrive faster, because somehow, because there is like, I don't know how you say it in English. It's like goodwill. I think the word is goodwill. You're building that goodwill and people want to give back because they just like you for who you are. You maybe not the best mentor or entrepreneur or author, I don't know, but you're freaking amazing. And I just want to help you out and open doors for you.
Yeah.
So that's how I do it. And again, look for ways to connect. We are now working more closer to Arabic countries. And then we had great meetings, all well. And then said, okay, listen, now it's time to meet. We do not do business if we are not friends. So we have to travel. And with COVID, that's a challenge. But again, find a way. I think most of the time you can find a way to get out of your country.
Yes. Interesting. I love the the partner that said we have to do this in pajamas. You know, it's true that when you think about it, and there's a simple exercise that I do from time to time, and I tell our clients to do. You just basically write down the list of the people you worked with the last 6 to 12 months, and then look at how you came in touch. You know, how did that connection really happen? And for me, and for most of the people I know, they will realize that they were having tapas together in Barcelona, or they would have, you know, they met in this conference having lunch, or they met in this moment, you know, and this party, and, or, you know, there's so many ways that business is done, which is out of this organized lead generation. And also, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. It does. Networking is important. Networking is, you know, we are always growing our networks, we are always connecting with people. But in the end, what's going to make the difference is, are we going to enjoy having a lunch together? Are we actually feeling connected on a human level? Do we trust each other? Because if there is no trust, then nothing's going to happen. Like you mentioned, in the end, we connect and we work with people that we like and trust and we feel good around. That it's such an emotional journey to create the partnership and network. We will not, even if a
And
person
then,
is, yeah.
and I think if you add to that likability, high level of networks, then magic happens. When you
Yes.
are surrounded by people who are better, who are lifting you up, and they
Yes.
love and trust you, this is
Yes.
when your business accelerates. And I think it's something you cannot really fake, because that human connection is real or not. And especially women, they are so wise and they feel that in their guts, like there is something wrong with that. They're like friendly and nice, but there is something off.
Yeah.
Well, trust that feeling. And again, you don't have to love everyone you do business with. I think you, a certain moment, you'll have to separate that. You've got your customers, like 80% of people on your list or social media. And then you've got 10 to 15, 20, maybe if you're lucky, percent of people who are there, who are here, and maybe you are here, but you have built a relationship with, and easily they take you with them. So
Yes.
that's a beautiful synergy to create and learn from both tribes, I could say.
Yeah.
But if you invest your time, I mean, you can do the funnel and lead generation for the 80%. That will not work with that 20. That
Yes.
20 wants to have just a conversation about, I don't know, what happened with their partner or the kids or the challenges they face raising, I don't know,
Yes.
6 children, I don't know. So I think this is the depth of the connection. And then you cannot really be untrue to that person,
Yes.
because you share so much personal. So at the end, it's about human to human connection. And it's true, you will not find it with everyone, but with those you will nurture that. And that's the biggest mistake that often is made. It's not nurtured. And if you
Yes.
don't nurture this, like I would do the same with the list you just mentioned. I will look through, and once a month, just literally an Excel list, by the way, go through that Excel list and say, okay, to whom did I connect and how did I connect?
Mm.
What is their like struggle, or how can I serve? Sometimes it would be, oh, I would send a message to that girl I've met a few months ago. She's in Cannes. She's like, oh my gosh, I lost my job. But she's a very expensive expert. So it's not that she cannot put it on LinkedIn. So I said, wait a second. So I just forwarded to 3 headhunters I know. She got 2 offers now. So it
Amazing.
cost me maybe a few minutes. I didn't
Yes.
do much here, but it's just
Yeah.
somebody I know through LinkedIn. And then I realized, oh my gosh, but she was introduced me to a lady in Frankfurt. Okay, I need to thank her, because thanks to this lady in Cannes, she's helping me with my PR campaign, for example. So
Yeah.
we are also interconnected, but you need to be mindful about that and
Yeah.
grateful, and send a box of chocolate or flowers. It's so easy right nowadays. You don't see each other, you don't go out. So all that money saved, well, I would literally send a thank you note and some Belgian pralines. Or, I mean, flowers, very easy. You can look locally and deliver
Yeah.
flowers. And
Yes.
that WhatsApp saying, oh my gosh, I did not expect that. How kind. Nobody's doing that. And that's
Yes.
the thing. Try to differentiate yourself from other sleazy networkers.
Yes, I love it. It's those simple but very intentional gestures of, did someone help you? Did did they open up and trusted you in their network? Send flowers, send a box of chocolates, send a postcard and just say thank you. Just something that makes them feel like you took the time and
Mm,
actually value them. Because if we don't feel valued when we are in a network and we do a gesture and we do help our network out, and we don't feel that we got a thank you back, or we don't feel that we were valued for our efforts, it might make us feel a bit like I went all this way, but I don't feel that that was actually so valid from someone else. So make people feel
mm.
important, make people feel special, that actually you do value what they are doing for you. 100%. I would love to just have a small question about, you mentioned your Excel. So you were saying that do you put all the names of all the people you speak to, or how do you organize your Excel? Because I mean, if you're speaking to 600 people, 200 new people per month, do you write all these people down, or do you go more intuitively of, this was a connection that I wanted to go deeper with? How do you go about that?
Well, there are a few ways. First of all, you should have a CRM system. If you don't have it, Excel is more than enough. So in my CRM, only real clients go, if there's some kind of connection deal or something, I know I have to follow up. It's long term. I need to get reminded about that.
Yeah.
And the Excel list I'm having, it's like we've got this platform, so I can get the contacts out of there. And I'll have few tabs like the members, and then I'll check their LinkedIn profiles, because most of the time they log in with their LinkedIn. So I've got some information, and I'll go and say, okay, who is that person, man or woman, and what are their specialty? Where is the connection? And sometimes, oh my gosh, somebody was looking contact in Estonia. So you need to have these puzzle pieces in your head. So you need to go through your contacts regularly. But then I've got another tab, and tab of people I'm getting introduced to, because they thought that would be an important partnership, or that's another organization that's doing similar in the US. And it's a long process of getting to a certain partnership. It doesn't happen after one Zoom call. So I know I'll write there down, all right, this is like the perfect fit, or I'll write the names of the dog or the children. I'll write down, oh my gosh, like, I mean, the brother had COVID recently, is recovering. So I'll just write that down. And then I will have a deadline to follow up. I will just put in my agenda, okay, a month later, just check in.
Yeah.
Because most of the time people are so busy. They're not going through the things you discussed. For example, after this call, we could say, okay, let's have another one and we'll talk about this and this. And then they get busy and life gets in the way and nothing happens. So you have to take the lead, and don't think you're pushy. I often will say, like, listen, do you want me to follow that up, or you got it? Or sometimes I have a PA and that works. If they don't have a PA, I'll say, listen, I'll put it in my schedule. A month later, I'll be back to you. Like, if you haven't sent your pitch deck by then, I'll remind you. Is that okay? Oh, thank you so much. Most of the time, they're quite grateful. Others feel a bit annoyed, and okay, listen, it's up to you now. You know how to find me. If you need some support, just email me or my colleague Chris. And that's how it most of the time works for us. But you have to like regularly go through it.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's getting cold, and you're losing the connection and the momentum of depth, and then it stays very superficial. And connections that are superficial are not the ones that will refer business to you.
Yes.
If you deepen the connections, these are the ones that will refer automatically. It can be speaking engagements, it can be affiliate partnership. We recently had with Turkey, we had this Fab Academy, that's an online program for startups. I don't have time, honestly, to promote it. So these guys, oh, we don't have any program. Maybe we can collaborate somehow. Oh my gosh, here it is. You got Teachable. It's all in there. It's all pre-recorded. Go, guys, and sell it. And that's a cool thing, because you really need to dive deep and say, okay, how can we be of value to each other, short term, long term, and maybe never, which is also fine.
Yes, absolutely. The follow-ups, and as you mentioned, we all have different ways so that some people enjoy you coming back and following up and checking in and saying, what's the best way for you, for us to kind of have this conversation, but being the one leading, no matter if it's leading with saying like, how do you want to continue this, or leading with a follow-up, a call, a check-in, WhatsApp, and having that already scheduled, because the follow-ups, that's where the magic happens. That's where we really get to know each other. We can go into this depth. I absolutely love this conversation. Thank you so much, Julia. I would like to just start end our call and our live podcast and show with an action. I always feel like the most important from this, it's like a mini training for the ones watching and listening. There's so much value in it. And there is sometimes, we can walk away and feeling inspired. But my biggest goal with this mini short episode is for people to take action. So if there's any one action, someone who's want to go into a deep networking, and I want to talk about that because that's something we don't hear so much about, the deep networking, what's that one action you would say? If they're not going to do anything else and just be inspired, but there's going to be one action they're going to take from today, what would that be?
Make a list of 15 people that can lift you up. Oh. And even though you feel like, okay, I haven't heard about them for years, make that list, take your phone and call them. Like, hi, how are you? You've got a good excuse now. COVID happened. I mean, everybody's life is upside down. Like, how are you? Are you healthy? How is your family? And then people start sharing, how is your business? Or maybe you pivoted, or maybe you lost your business. I mean,
Yeah.
connect with people. Do not sell anything in that call, please. Just like listen, write down, and listen how you can help. If you
Yeah.
can do that for 15 people a month, you create so much social capital that once you'll need it, for example, the next call could be like, listen, I found somebody, I can connect you to an HR manager or to somebody who's looking for a profile like yours or who can use your services. And when they experience that, wow, thank you so much, Daria, you really, that means a lot, taking the time and spending an hour here with me. Well, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
And then you can say, oh, well, listen, you know what? I'm expanding to Spain. I don't have many like networks. Could you please connect me to the right organizations in your city or country? Oh, sure. Yes. Let me do introduction today. And
Yeah.
it's so authentic. It's so real. It's not fake. It's just really transparent.
Mm.
Just be that human being. Yes, it's time consuming. Yes, you cannot automate that because everybody's so unique, but you can handle 15 people a month. I mean, take 10 if 15 is too much, or five, doesn't matter. Just do some. I'll do 15 because
Yeah.
I know it boosts my business and ecosystem a lot. But if you feel like I don't have so many influential people, I'll go out and network. LinkedIn is a perfect tool, by the way, for that. So don't
Yeah.
have any excuses of not networking.
Absolutely. So, guys, listening, ladies, the ones who are here and listening, watching, it's super simple. Take that Excel or take that paper and pen and just write down the list of 15 people that can lift you up and go out and serve them. Go out and help them. Go there and see how you can be of support by listening, by checking in, by being a human, by first and foremost connecting with them again and seeing how you can help them, how you can guide them, how you can serve them, how you can refer someone to them, create a partnership any way that you can be of service because you have so much to offer. And it's something I want to add to that is it might feel scary if there are also people that you feel that are more influential than you, or you feel a bit of imposter syndrome. We all can get some help from anyone. So even if you feel like they are more experienced in one part, it doesn't mean that they are more experienced in another part of their life. And sometimes just listening can be the most treasures and precious thing that you can give to someone else who is a leader, someone who's actually just checking in with them. That is something very important. So yeah, thank you, Julia. Where can people find you? Where can people discover more of your amazing work?
Well, it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for a community to join, go to evaecosystem.com. Find me on LinkedIn. Most of the time, I'm spending my time there. Or if you are into starting your business idea stage, then you go to fabacademy and .com and you'll find more info there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Julia, for being on the show with me. We're going to put all the links in the show description for you to go deeper and do follow up. Do check out these communities and networks and connect with Julia on LinkedIn. That's all for today. Have a wonderful day. And thank you, Julia, for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me. Good luck, guys. Ciao.
Good luck. Bye bye.